Is Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS's bid to buy Manchester United, is it dead in the water? Does that mean the Qatari bid, the Sheikh Jassim bid, has been successful? That is what David Hellier from Bloomberg has told United View today. What I want to do is dive into that a bit further, explain and follow the storyline, because this is not the first time that we've heard about legal threats against the Glazers if they accept the INEOS bid. But why now? Why has that changed? I'm going to explain it all in, give me 10 minutes of your time. I hope I can help you understand it a bit more. I need this. I like doing these videos because it helps me get my head around everything. But you can let me know what you think in the comments below, because what I'm going to do is follow the takeover so far. I like doing things in chronological order because it helps you get the context to what's being said now. So we can rewind as far as February, which of course is when the Qatari bid went in. That statement first came out. And that's when I suppose the excitement grew about the different bidders who were in for Manchester United. And we know exactly who the other bidder was. That was Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS. Both of them emerged as the two standout candidates in the potential takeover of Manchester United. No one knew at that point which way it was going to go. And obviously the months that have happened since, you know, look at this, right? This article here about the second bid from Sheikh Jassim is 3 months old. That made me just go when I saw that. But we know throughout the whole process, it swung between the two. The Qataris are more confident and they're more likely to take over. And then it was this that switched it back to INEOS. And it is this which is causing the issues. Effectively, what this was I considered it. Look, it wouldn't be. It's not something that United fans would ever agree with. But from a business perspective, it was kind of a shrewd move to create a bid structure instead of buying out all 69%. And that's all of the Glazers shares. How about we just buy out 49% and we allow Joel and Avram to retain some minority ownership. We'd still take over the ownership of the club and the control, but maybe that's what the Glazers want. That was INEOS's thought process, right? And as I said, from a business perspective, it was a shrewd move because they were able to then offer something that the Qataris were not. The Qataris obviously came back. They put in that world record bid. And then it's just kind of gone to and fro. It was up until that fifth bid from the Qataris and Sheikh Jassim that everybody kind of felt that INEOS was leading the race. And as I said, if we go back here and we say this was probably the point that switched it towards INEOS, and they've even created different structures where instead of buying out just 4 of them and keeping 2 of them, maybe all 6 can stay in, and they have different types, completely different styles and budgets and XYZ to try and give themselves an advantage over the Qatari bid. Then Bloomberg this week reporting that the Qatari group was confident of winning, and that's where we've reached this point here. An interview with David Hellier from Bloomberg with United View and with Flex this morning, and this is what he said and what I want to talk
about. Now, for my part, I picked up on another aspect of this, which was really to do with the Jim Ratcliffe side, and I was picking up from advisors to Man United that basically his bid as it stands is dead in the water.
Which, of course, is a massive statement to make. Dead in the water. And it all revolves around the structure of this bid and the legal opposition to it. Now, this is not the first time that we have heard of the concept of a bit of legal opposition. We go back here to Reuters. This was on the 9th of June. You can read it down here. Hedge funds are preparing to fight any attempt by the controlling Glazer family to exclude minority investors from a deal. Now, I want to quickly, give me a couple minutes of your time here to explain something, right? And I don't find this hilarious. I don't know the right way to word this. But effectively, the reason that the Glazers put Manchester United on the New York Stock Exchange was to raise money that they could then spend without having to invest their own money in Manchester United. And they created the Class A and the Class B share structure. Now, everybody kind of knows what it is. If you don't, a quick Summary, Class A shares, they're the ones you buy on the New York Stock Exchange. They come with 1 vote per share. Class B shares, which you can't buy on the stock exchange, which are owned exclusively by the Glazer family, they have 10 votes per share. AKA, we got all the power. We can raise all this money that Manchester United won't get. Man United have never received any money from share sales. It's all gone towards them. However, and this is the thing, I don't find it hilarious here. I don't know the right word to describe this. But it's ultimately that Class A and that Class B share structure now, which is a problem for them. Because we've seen how the market has been reacting to the craziness of this whole takeover, right? We take a look at the share price of Manchester United over the last year and we can see, look, back in November, we see where the big spike is. And we can see that there's been 1, 2, 3 major peaks there, 3 big spikes. And that's come off the back of all the news that's broken around the Qatari bids, because with the Class A and Class B, the INEOS bid, the way that they are structuring it, they are only going to buy the Class B shares. They're only going to buy out the Glazers. They're going to leave those Class A shares. And therefore, anybody who owns a Class A share is effectively going to be cut out of a deal like this. And by doing so, you're pissing off some seriously rich people. We take a look here at the biggest owners of the Class A shares of Manchester United. And I've ran through this list before with you, but I'll do it again now. Lindsay Train, they own 18% of Manchester United. Nobody has any idea who they are. Well, apart from the fact that Lindsay Train. Nearly over 9 million shares, value of $178 million. And look at that, Aerial Investments, 6.6% with a value of $67 million. Eminence Capital, 5%. $53 million. And you can see down there the owners that exist of Manchester United A shares and how much they've got in. And you know what the question I'm asking myself here now is this, right? Let me go back to this. This bid, the structure of this bid went in, we can get the date here, 26th of April, right? Yet we didn't hear anything about sort of any potential legal opposition until the 9th of June. So my question is this. If that legal opposition there and now is genuine, and what David Hellier is saying is correct from Bloomberg here, that the bid is dead in the water, surely that problem would have existed before that bid even went in. Like, surely that problem's been there the entire time. So why would that bid structure have ever gone in? If it was always going to be a problem, or maybe they underestimated maybe they thought they could. INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe thought they could do it, and the minority investors would go, you know what, never mind. But millionaires rarely do that, and Jim Ratcliffe would know that as a billionaire. So surely this problem's always existed from the very start. That would be my question to ask at this point, because look, it's swung between all of them. The Qataris are favourites, Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS are favourites. But as it stands now, according to David Hellier, the Jim Ratcliffe bid cannot go any further ahead because the board, certain members of the board, there won't be a unanimous voice saying we'll accept the INEOS bid because of the threat of legal action from these minority investors. They could be the blockers to that deal. And then on the other hand, you've got Abraham and Joel Glazer, who are probably greedily saying that the Qatari bid, it's not enough. We want more. So on the one hand, you've got a bid which might have legal ramifications that are blocking it. And on the other hand, you've got the Qatari bid, which isn't enough for Abraham and Joel to accept. And you've got squabbling, internal Glazer arguments. Maybe it is dead in the water. And if it is dead in the water, then it's been dead in the water since April. Because if it's a problem now, it was a problem when the bid first went in. That would be my main observation to that. Why are we talking about it now? Maybe it's because that an actual letter has been sent to United's board as sort of like a warning for the legal action that is coming. Maybe that's been the thing that's changed it. But that's the full story, hopefully explained. I would say fair play to United View and Flex for getting David Hellier on. The sort of interviews I like doing. So yeah, it's a good talking point, which I hope I've covered in as much detail as possible here. I hope I've tried to explain it in as simple terms as possible and only in 10 minutes. You can let me know what you think about this. But yeah, my main takeaway is if that is a problem now, then it always was. And if it always was, then why on earth would INEOS have put that bid in the first place? Surely they would have been advised against that. You can let me know what you think.